Avraham Avinu is looking to marry a wife for his child Yitchak, and therefore he appoints as a matchmaker, as a shliach, as an agent to do that, Eliezer. He tells Eliezer that you should go to my land and go and find a kala for my wife, for my son Yitchak. When Eliezer hears that command of Avraham Avinu, Eliezer was the slave of Avraham Avinu, as the pasuk keeps on saying, Eved Avraham, he right away decides, 1 minute, what do you mean I'm going to go to find a kala for your son? I have my own daughter. You can marry my own daughter. And therefore he offers Avraham Avinu his daughter. He says, Vayomer el Adoni, Ulai lo telecha isha acharai. Maybe the woman that I'm going to marry for Yitzchak would not go after me. The Lashon Ulai is written over here, this word, Aleph Lamed Yud, instead of Aleph Vav Lamed Yud. It's missing the Vav. It just says Ulai. If you read it without the Nekudot, you would read Elai, to me. And therefore, Chazal picked on that, brought down in Rashi, and said that Eliezer was hinting and was saying to Avraham Avinu, to me, Elai, Vayomer el Adoni, Elai, bring your son to me, to my daughter. Rashi says, Ulai lo telecha isha elai ktiv. It's written, when you read it without the nekudot, you would read it, Elai, to me. Bat hayta lo Eliezer. Rashi says that Eliezer had a daughter. והיה מחזר למצוא עילה שאומר לו אברהם לפנות אליו להשיאו ביתו. He was trying to find a reason to come and offer his daughter to Avraham Avinu. He wanted to marry Yitzchak. He wanted that he should be, his son should marry, his daughter should marry Yitzchak. אמר לו אברהם אבינו, it's not possible. I can't have you as as your daughter as my kala. And therefore, he sends him to find a different kala for his son. The question over here is very strange. Eliezer, which was the slave of Avraham Avinu, offers himself. Avraham Avinu was the best person in the world. He was the most successful person in the world. Avraham Avinu was known the priest of the whole world, coming to spread HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name in the whole world. Avraham Avinu was the master of everything in Midot, in Yirat Shamayim. He had everything he needed, and everything he gives to Yitzchak, which was the follower of Avraham Avinu. How does a slave have it in mind even to offer his daughter for such a person? It's very strange. Very, very strange. And don't think that he wasn't a slave. The pasuk keeps on saying, Eved Avram, Eved Avram. You read the whole parasha over here, Chayei Sara, every time almost that it mentions Eliezer, it mentions that he was Eved Avram. He himself, that when he goes to marry Rivka, he keeps on saying about himself that I am the slave of Avraham. I am Eved Avraham. He knows that. He feels it. He doesn't try to cover that up. So how does he offer his daughter to Avraham Avinu? I heard a beautiful idea from Shia Horowitz. Beautiful idea. And the idea goes like this. There is a mitzvah in the Torah. The Torah says, Lo tachmod. Don't desire other things, other people's things. One of the things that it says, Lo tachmod, is eshet re'echa. Don't have a desire to want to be or to want to marry your friend's wife. That's what the Torah says. So the Ibn Ezra asks, how could a person control his desire? A desire is something inner within the heart, within the feeling that a person can't control. You can control your actions. Don't do, I understand. Don't desire. You have to feel in a certain way. How could you control your feelings? The Ibn Ezra says a beautiful idea. He says like this. He says that when a person knows it's so far away from him, it has no relations to him whatsoever, a person doesn't have a desire for it. He gives a parable, a mashal. When you have a villager that sees the queen, he sees the daughter of the queen, he sees such a woman that he knows there's no way in the world that he would ever marry her, because he's a villager is nothing special, and she is on the highest. And therefore, when he sees her, he doesn't think for a minute, I want to have her, I want to marry her. There's no relation, nothing to do with it. And therefore, he doesn't even have that desire. Says the Ibn Ezra, same thing here. If a person understands that whatever Hashem designated for him, that's his. Whatever Hashem designated for his friend, he gave it to his friend. It's further than marrying the king's daughter. Further than that, because Hashem decided that this is what belongs to my friend. And therefore, if that belongs to my friend, it's as far as possible from me. It's not destined for me. It's not mine at all. I have nothing to do with it. And since there's no relation whatsoever with that thing that my friend have, a person needs to understand and install that in his heart, that feeling that it's as far as possible from me, he would not have even a desire for it. And that is the mitzvah of lo tachmod. When we come to our parasha, we see that idea didn't work for Eliezer. Eliezer wanted that his daughter should marry Yitchak. How is that possible? The idea over here is the following. Eliezer felt that it could happen. Why did he feel it could happen? He's a slave. How could he marry Avraham Avinu's son? The answer is, Avraham Avinu was such a special man that he made Eliezer feel so special. Eliezer didn't feel at all that he's somewhere that he shouldn't marry he shouldn't marry his daughter to Avraham Avinu's son. He felt that it's shayach, it could happen. Eliezer was feeling so special. Avraham Avinu made him feel $1 million. And therefore, when he came to Shidduchim, Eliezer thought, maybe yes, it could be. It's a nice Shidduch. They could be together. Eliezer was given by Avraham Avinu such feedback, such good feelings, that Eliezer had it within him that could happen. Avraham Avinu was that special person that gave him that feeling. We need to understand the following. We said on Rosh Hashanah that why do we blow on the shofar? What's the idea of blowing on the shofar? The idea of blowing on the shofar is that when you take a shofar and you put your mouth to it and you make a voice that goes in the shofar, the voice you're making is a normal voice. You just say, ooh, tu, 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 tu. You say the voice and you don't scream it out, you just say it. But when it goes to the shofar and it comes out with a much higher volume. Everybody hears it much louder. It sounds so loud when it comes out of the shofar. What's the idea over here? On Rosh Hashanah, we need to understand that very concept of the shofar. That when we say something, we could say it in our regular voice, but when the other person hears it, he hears it much louder. Which means like this. Sometimes you see a person and you tell him, oh, you don't look so well today. Oh, your shirt is not so nice today. You tell a person, I didn't like what you said today. You feel that it's a simple thing. You didn't say anything horrible, but that's the way you said it. When it comes out of the shofar, when you say it, the way it comes to his ear is 100 times louder. You told him that you didn't like what he said. He didn't just hear, I didn't like what you said. You made his day terrible, horrible. The whole day he would be going gloomy, unhappy. Why is that? Because you told him he didn't speak nicely today. He didn't look so nice today. How powerful words are. On the same thing, also, on the positive, when a person tells the other person, oh, you look so well today, you look much better, the things you said today were so nice, the things you did today were so nice, the work you did today at work was so well. You just said simple words. The person just didn't understand or hear that. He heard much louder than that. You told him the work was good. The whole day is walking smiley. The whole day is a happy day. He comes home with he's a different person. And even more so when we're talking at home, that when a husband speaks to his wife, a wife speaks to her husband, they don't hear just the voice and the sounds and the words that the spouse is saying. They hear it 10 times, 100 times louder. Which means if a husband gives a compliment to his wife, she doesn't hear only the compliments. It gives it a different feeling. It explodes it 1,000 times more. When he told her the house looks clean, he didn't just say the house is clean. That's the words that came out of his mouth. but she feels now like $1 million. When she tells her husband a compliment, he just didn't hear that compliment. He heard 1,000 times more. And that is the way we need to act, one towards the other. We need to understand that we need to make the other person feel special, just like Avraham Avinu made Eliezer feel special. And don't feel that if you make the other person feel special, then he's going to not do the job correctly, because we see that things are just the opposite. When you give a compliment to your worker, he doesn't take his break. Rather, he works harder. It gives him an encouragement. And that's what happened with Avraham and Eliezer. Avraham made him feel so special that Eliezer goes now and he goes out of his way to make sure the shidduch is going to be done correctly. And this is how we should behave to everybody around us, our workers, our bus drivers, our spouse, our children, and everybody else.